Hey guys, it's Rich. It's time to prepare for the biggest update in the history of Gray Zone Warfare. The Night Ops patch wipe goes live on the 27th, and that is tomorrow. For those of watching the video today or tonight, that is going to be live tomorrow on the 27th on public servers for you to hop in and experience the new update in Gray Zone Warfare. This is a brand new wipe, so everybody's going to be starting on level 1. All of your inventory is going to be reset to the starting gear you got when you first purchased the game. This is going to be a complete level reset for everybody, and everybody is going to be on an equal playing field when starting on the 27th. The reason that they do these wipes is because they need to introduce the new content into the game and rebalance the economy with new items and new gear. And they obviously need to implement that new content with a healthy state of the game. So the best time to do that is with a wipe. So you can expect these wipe cycles to happen about every 6 months. And these are going to include new major content into the game like this one is today. This is obviously the nighttime update. So this includes a nighttime cycle and a lot of good quality of life updates that are definitely worth mentioning and definitely impact the way you play the game. This video here today is to help you prepare for what to look forward to and how to start your wipe in the most effective manner. The first thing to start with is make sure your settings are correctly optimized for the new update. I've done some testing, and these are by far my favorite settings for balance of performance and visual fidelity. My settings video is linked below, so make sure you've gotten that sorted out once hopping into Lemang. I definitely recommend checking that video out. It's definitely a good starting point, I would say, as far as testing some settings out. Obviously, every rig is different, so you'll want to obviously make sure you tweak those and tune those to your own performance needs. So once you've deployed and got your settings, you will have the option of hopping into the Warfare mode or Joint Ops mode. Warfare mode is the PvE mode where you can run into other players on other factions. It's definitely for my more experienced players or those that seek the more intense mode of Gray Zone Warfare with the opportunity to die to their players or maybe even get some of their gear. If you are a new player or seeking a different experience, Joint Ops is the PvE mode. You cannot be killed by other players in this mode. You also cannot be team killed in this mode. You can only be killed by the AI in here, and this is a great foundation piece for my new players as they seek to hop into something a little safer and slower pace. Let me know down below in the comments which mode you play and why. Curious to hear from you guys on this matter. Once you get yourself sorted into whichever mode you prefer, you can now load in and get access to your stash and inventory. First thing I would do here is take inventory of your gear and understand that what you have available to you is really important. As you can see here, since we've been playing the early edition of Night Ops, I've kind of got a little bit of a mess going on in my gear. I definitely recommend sorting your stuff out. I'm going to be probably doing this after the video that you're watching today. But obviously, when you're playing, you'll get a nice clean inventory. They have the new pack items up here, which obviously sorts and pushes everything to the top and makes everything a little bit easier to find. Obviously, I would like an auto sort feature, and I expect that to be in the game at some point in the near future. But obviously, we'll have to do it with what we do have now. As you play and gather gear, obviously your gear will get a little bit more messy and a little bit just kind of convoluted all over the place. So definitely try and maintain a clean inventory. It is possible by using bags and new items they have in the game, such as this personal cooler, which is for food items. Biggest thing you want to take inventory of when you're going into the zone is make sure you have ammo. Extra ammunition for your gun is always important. Make sure you have the right caliber. So 5.5645, as I'm using an M4A1 in the top left corner, it'll tell you the exact caliber you need to bring in for this gun. So this right here uses 5.56, so I'll bring in some 5.56 ammo. Most of the time what I'll do is actually put the ammo in my safe container like that. If I were to die or anything like that, it won't be lost, and I can actually just go ahead and regain it and reuse it because it'll be in the safe container. These safe containers, everything placed inside of these cannot be lost at a time of death. So if you were to die at any point, whether to be a player or to be an AI, this cannot be looted and this will not be lost. This will be with you permanently. That's your safe container. It is your secure lockbox. Nothing can happen to it. You do not have to worry about that. So once you've sorted out the gear you're going to bring in, so you're going to make sure you have your armor, headset, helmets, and gun and ammunition. Obviously, those are very important. And once you've sorted out what you have in your stash, depending on the edition, you will all have different starting gear. So definitely take an account of what you have on your character and in your stash. Everybody will have a different starting point if you have different editions of the game. A big factor I want to stress is hunger and water. They can deplete very fast, especially if you're just out there completing quest after quest without returning back to your base. So definitely you want to make sure you have some snacks, whether that be water or drinks. So definitely take a snack with you as you head into the combat zone and bring yourself a bottle of water to hydrate. If you want to save money or avoid bringing these supplies in, you can loot snacks and drinks out in the world if you are paying attention to it. There are definitely things looted around that you can loot for food and for drinks, so you don't have to worry about necessarily having to bring them in, but I always likely have that extra reserve in my inventory or in my bag. Gray Zone Warfare is still a survival game too, so don't forget those important elements. You can definitely get caught up in these fights and these player engagements and fighting against these AIs and questing. You can forget to look in the bottom left and take a look at your hydration and energy, and before you know it, those can be really low and costing you your health and your life while you're out there. The next thing I would do is familiarize yourself with what offers you have at tier 1 vendors. There's definitely different offers you have up here, and each one offers a different set of gear. Each one of these either offers guns, meds, or supplies. Gunny, for example, tends to offer more of the NATO builds, so the M4A1s, and then Turncoat and Artisan tend to offer more of the AK builds and the SKS platforms. Handshake is going to be your armor guy, but additionally, you can get some armor from Artisan and Turncoat later down the line. Lab Rat is going to be the one you go to for your medical supplies. So this is if you need to re-up on some of your supplies, whether it be surgery kits, hemostats, whatever. You can also buy food and drink from her. This is going to be the vendor you need to go for this stuff. As you quest up and level up, you'll have access to higher end gear and top of the line equipment, the end game stuff, if you will. As you can see here, your reputation with each of these traders will go up as you complete quests with them. There's also something to take note here: item restock in a certain amount of hours. So some of these items have certain inventory, and you will see here this number 15. Some of these have infinite. This one right here has a certain number, and those will have to restock when the vendor restocks go live. Once you've taken inventory with your vendors and see what you have available to do, is you want to click onto your task screen to see the tasks you've accepted. Each of these tasks will provide you with important information about how to best complete these tasks and how to locate what you're looking for. An important note with your tasks: I have a bunch of task videos up on my channel and a current playlist working on it, but I'm also working on updating the quests that have been reworked and changed up for the new patch. A lot of them are the same, so you don't have to worry about that, but there are some interesting ones that have been reworked, and I'll be definitely going through and changing those up and making sure you have an updated guide as far as what you need to look forward to in these quests. Some of them do provide you important information about like coordinates, especially for the ones in the starter town, so you may not need a video for that, but it is really helpful to maybe try and reference some of my guide videos, and they can help you progress through the game even quicker. I'll have the playlist link below for the task guide videos, and make sure to stay sub to the channel for important information on this wipe so you don't miss a beat. A big factor if you want to quickly blow through some tasks, I recommend grouping. What I mean is, don't return a base unless absolutely necessary and you need more supplies. This is going to be a really good and effective way to complete as many, if not all, your tasks in one go. Then return to the base. This will help you really chop up some XP and really begin to advance in game with the vendor rep and your personal level XP. But also keep in mind, I don't want you sacrificing yourself by trying to do this. If you need to go back to base, do it. Then head back out and complete those tasks. Don't feel like you're on a rush, but I do find this to be the most effective way of completing these tasks myself. So you have your tasks, you have your gear, and you're ready to roll. Well, LZs are important to Gray Zone. As you get your first bundle of quests, most of them will be in the starter town. You'll have immediate access to one of the LZs, most likely being Bravo 1, or if you're in Fa Lang for Lamang, or if you're in Crimson Shield, you have access to Q Vong Sa. You can work your way around the starter town to locate the other two LZs. Most of these starter towns are actually exactly the same, with just a different layout and a different location on the map. Each faction has their own starter town, so you don't have to be afraid of running into other players here, as most of you will be completing those early game tasks. However, there may be some demons coming to terrorize you guys in the warfare mode, so be aware there's always the opportunity for other players to hop into the PvP mode and then come to the starter towns. They try and balance that out by making some of these LZs a lot farther that you have to go to, but they still have that opportunity to do that. For example, if you were to land Foxtrot 3, you could go towards the Crimson Shield base, and then there's going to be some LZs around Fa Lang Airfield that'll let you go into Fa Lang. So there's definitely opportunity to just go into the starter towns and go after those new players, so just be aware of that. I had my own fair share of PvP when doing this, and if you feel like you're struggling, definitely maybe switch over to the joint ops mode. But I will also like to mention that it doesn't happen often, as most people are going to be focused on completing those early game tasks tomorrow, and a lot of people aren't going to be really focused on PvP. Gray Zone Warfare can be overwhelming at first, but fear not. Over time, you'll, like everything else, you'll pick up on it and get yourself sorted in without a worry. I would like also to mention the biggest feature of this new update is the nighttime. In Gray Zone, there are now time cycles at a rate of 2 to 1 day to night. So with this new update, you'll have access to 3 new NVGs inside of the game. The first one being the PVS-31A, which are the white phosphorus ones, which I will demonstrate for you here so you have a look at it. Obviously, we're in a pretty bright zone, but this is pretty much what you're going to get. These are white out. It's that white phosphorus look, so it's not that green tint NVG you're used to, but these are really clean and look really good as far as seeing, especially in the nighttime. Then you have the PVS-14. This is the monocle nighttime one, so this is going to take over one of your eyes. This one, obviously, it's still impossible to aim with this, but it lets you see just out of that one eye and keeps kind of just perception around you a little bit easier to tell what's going on around you outside of that main monocle. So that's what the monocle one, it covers one eye, and it's going to let you look through and see those NVGs. The last ones you have are the PVS-7s. These are kind of your classic green-looking 2-eye socket into 1-tube NVGs. This is definitely one of my favorite ones. In between this one and the white phosphorus, but for me, this looks really clean. and it's really easy to see at nighttime, especially when you're in those forest areas. You're going to definitely want to make sure you have a pair of NVGs on you, and this one and the white phosphorus ones are my two favorite ones. If you want that green look, then definitely go for these. If you want that white phosphorus, definitely go for the other ones. You now have access to tactical devices such as IR lasers, IR lights, tactical lasers, and flashlights to mount onto your guns. Gray Zone Warfare Night Ops adds a new variable to the game that I think is going to impact PvP in refreshing new ways and impact the game in exciting new manners. Here's a look at some of these new tactical devices for you in action. You also have access to 7 new guns in the game, including the MP5, a fan favorite, and some new AK variations, and some new shotguns in the game as well. Definitely recommend checking some of these out, as there have been some reworks to the existing ammo stats. As previous players know, 5.56 has dominated the landscape for quite a while now, and well, I believe this wipe will see a more widespread set of options for more variety out in the battlefield. Personally, for me, I've been using the MP5 during this early access preview build, and it is by far my favorite gun to use, especially when you have a suppressor on there. It's definitely really enjoyable to use. 9x19 seems pretty viable right now, and I'm definitely going to keep testing it, but as far as the gun I've been using, the MP5 has definitely been the most fun gun from the new set of guns that I've been using. The AKs are also really solid to use, and I definitely recommend checking those out, as I know people, tend to stay away from those AKs after the last wipe, but I've definitely been having a really fun time with those AKs. Also, without spoiling too much, there are new areas to go explore in Gray Zone Warfare, including new landmarks, new LZs to change the course of battle, and of course to change the feel of new areas that fights can happen. Definitely recommend exploring and really diving into the world of Lemang, as it has really begun to flesh itself out a little more, and I'm excited to see where this goes in further updates. For those that have played in previous wipes, you will notice that Gray Zone Warfare offers some changes to the crazy strong AI. AI has, in my opinion, gotten easier to combat while still having some of those crazy moments where they lock on you and destroy you before you can react. However, the majority of time with this new update, I'm able to strategically tick these guys off and complete my tasks without having to worry about some crazy tracking these guys used to do. AI will continue to get better as new updates and patches come out, but you will see that it's definitely feeling better this patch. Definitely recommend something you give me feedback on down below in the comments, but for me personally, my experience, it's definitely been easier than the last wipe. It still has their moments. I'm not saying they're completely, just the best AI in the game, but they are definitely better from the last wipe to this wipe. When out in a combat zone, play smart. Use cover, use smart line of sight angles to take off enemies, whether it be AI or other players. I love to utilize my environment to my advantage to make me the better player in as many situations as I can be. A really big component I would recommend: don't feel rushed to complete the tasks, to rush endgame. Play at your pace and enjoy the game your way, not the way others are playing. That about sums up my guide for new and existing players entering back into Lemang. Prepare yourself accordingly. Understand that you will likely die and lose kits, and it's okay. It's a part of the process, but you will over time learn the game. Easily my biggest suggestion: just have fun. This is a new fresh update for everyone. Help your fellow players and enjoy your time out there in the new version of Lemang with this Night Ops update. All right, guys, if this video helped you out, a like would be awesome. If not, a dislike is totally understandable. Also, if you guys love Gray Zone Warfare content, enjoy survival games, make sure you guys stay subbed to the channel. We got some juicy content always popping up for you guys. All right, guys, that about wraps up my time with you today. Hopefully, I'll see you guys out there in a new update that comes out on the 27th, Gray Zone Warfare Night Ops. Peace out.